A few months ago, Maya started dating a guy. Let's call him Jake. At first, everything seemed perfectly normal. She was excited, telling Tina all about him, sharing the little details you'd expect. Tina seemed happy for her, even teasing her about finally finding a boyfriend. It all seemed like typical best friend behavior. But there was something about Jake that made me uneasy. Maybe it was because I was so used to Maya being part of our family. And suddenly, there was someone else. Someone who didn't quite fit. At first, Jake only came over a couple of times. He was polite enough, shook my hand, made eye contact, all the right things. But something about him felt off to me. Gradually, Jake started coming around more often. I began to notice a change in Tina. She became hyper aware whenever he was around. She would glance at him a little too often, and sometimes I'd catch her staring as if lost in thought. I thought, okay, maybe she has a little crush. They're teenagers, after all. It's not the most shocking thing in the world. She was probably just curious about him since he was Maya's boyfriend. I brushed it off. But then, these little things started to add up. I'd be sitting in the living room watching TV, and I'd notice Tina hovering whenever Jake was around. At one point, she even changed her clothes before coming downstairs, something she'd never done before. That was when I started feeling uneasy, though I still wasn't ready to jump to conclusions. One evening, Maya, Jake, and Tina were all hanging out in the backyard, laughing and talking. I glanced out the window, and something about the way Tina looked at Jake stayed with me. It wasn't the look of someone who was just casually curious. It was the look teenagers get when they're infatuated. She was smiling, but there was something more to that smile. Jake didn't seem to notice, or maybe he just didn't care. He kept talking to Maya, completely unaware. It was one of those moments where I felt like a bystander, observing something that just didn't sit right.